Okie dokie, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with consistency thanks to Deacon Ruben. Today we are in Numbers 9, 1 through 14. So let's read together. In the first month of the second year, after their departure from the land of Egypt, the Lord told Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, "The Israelites are to observe the Passover at its appointed time. You must observe it at its appointed time on the 14th day of the month at twilight. You are to observe it according to all its statutes and ordinances." So Moses told the Israelites to observe the Passover, and they observed it in the first month on the 14th day at twilight in the wilderness of Sinai. The Israelites did everything as the Lord had commanded Moses. But there were some men who were unclean because of a human corpse, so they could not observe the Passover on that day. These men came before Moses and Aaron the same day and said to him, "We are unclean because of a human corpse. Why should we be excluded from presenting the Lord's offering at its appointed time with the other Israelites?" Moses replied to them, "Wait here until I hear what the Lord commands for you." Then the Lord spoke to Moses, "Tell the Israelites, when any of you or your descendants is unclean because of a corpse or is on a distant journey, he may still observe the Passover to the Lord. Such people are to observe it in the second month, on the 14th day at twilight. They are to eat the animal with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. They may not leave any of it until morning or break any of its bones. They must observe the Passover according to all its statutes. But the man who is ceremonially clean, is not on a journey, and yet fails to observe the Passover, is to be cut from his people, because he did not present the Lord's offering at its appointed time. That man will bear the consequences of his sin. If an alien with you resides with you and wants to observe the Passover to the Lord, he is to do it according to the Passover statute and its ordinances. You are to apply the same statute to both the resident alien and the native of the land." So this is a reminder to me to do something very simple, and it's remember. The Passover is a time of celebrating God releasing the Israelites from Egypt, freeing them from their slavery, from a time of oppression and just anguish. And I recall a time in which I and my family went through such a difficult hardship, and I often forget to praise God for bringing us out of that, and I often forget to remember that. So I appreciate this verse for being able to, like I said, just remind me to be thankful, remind me to remember and follow one instruction of God's goodness here, and or God's command, and it's just remember God's goodness. But that's what I have to say. I'm glad to be continuing to do this with all of you. There we go. What do you have to say? Have a good day.